So imagine this. One guy gets shot, and within weeks, the entire world is at war. And by the end of this video, I'm going to tell you about a moment where soldiers from both sides, enemies, stopped fighting and did something that still gives me chills. But first, let me take you back to how this all started. Okay, so we're going back to 1914. Europe looked completely different back then. You had these massive empires, Britain, France, Germany, Austria-Hungary, Russia, all just sitting there, watching each other. And honestly, they didn't trust each other at all. Like, imagine a room full of people. Everyone's got a gun, and everyone's just waiting to see who moves first. That was Europe. Now, here's the thing most people don't realize. This war didn't just happen overnight. No. The tension had been building for years. See, all these countries, they had been making secret deals with each other. Like, hey, if someone attacks you, I got your back. And then that country would make a deal with another country, and so on, until everyone was connected. So if one country got into a fight, everyone else would get dragged in too. It's like, when you have group drama and one small argument just explodes? Yeah, that's basically what happened. So, June 28th, 1914. There's this guy named Archduke Franz Ferdinand. He's the heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne. Big deal, right? He's visiting this place called Sarajevo, which is in Bosnia. And there's this group of people. They didn't want Austria-Hungary controlling their land. They were angry, really angry. So this young guy, Gavrilo Princip, he's only 19 years old. He shoots Franz Ferdinand, and his wife too. Both of them gone, just like that. Now, you'd think, okay, that's a tragedy, maybe there's some political tension, but a world war? How does that even make sense? Well, remember those secret alliances I mentioned? Here's where it gets messy. Austria-Hungary is furious. They blame Serbia for the assassination. So they're like, we're going to war with Serbia. But wait, Serbia has a friend, Russia. Russia says, hey, you mess with Serbia, you mess with me. Now Germany, they're allied with Austria-Hungary. So Germany tells Russia, back off. Russia doesn't back off. Germany declares war on Russia. But here's the thing. France is allied with Russia. So Germany thinks, you know what? France is going to attack us anyway. So they declare war on France too. And to get to France quickly, Germany decides to march through Belgium. But Belgium is neutral territory. And Britain? Britain had promised to protect Belgium. So when Germany invades Belgium, Britain says, all right, that's it, we're in. And just like that, within about 6 weeks, almost all of Europe is at war. One assassination, and the whole world falls apart. And honestly, if you're still here, you probably find this as crazy as I do. If you're learning something new, just drop a like real quick. It actually helps more than you think. Anyway, let's keep going. Now, here's where things get really heavy. Everyone thought this war would be quick, like a few months maybe. The soldiers, young guys, 18, 19, 20 years old, they were excited. Can you imagine? They thought they'd be home for Christmas. But that's not what happened. Not even close. See, the weapons in this war were different, more deadly. Machine guns, artillery, barbed wire. When soldiers tried to charge at each other like they used to, they got mown down. Thousands of them, in minutes. So what did they do? They dug. They dug trenches into the ground. Long, deep ditches stretching for miles and miles and miles. And that's where they stayed for years. I want you to picture this for a second. You're a soldier, you're standing in a trench that's maybe 6 feet deep. The ground is wet, it's muddy, there's water up to your ankles sometimes. You can hear gunfire in the distance, sometimes close, too close. You haven't slept properly in days. The food is terrible. There are rats everywhere. Actual rats running over your feet while you try to rest. And the smell? I can't even describe it. Disease was everywhere. Something called trench foot would happen, where your feet would literally start to rot because they were wet for so long. And the worst part? You couldn't leave. You were just stuck there, waiting, day after day, night after night. Between the trenches, there was this area called no man's land. It was the space between the two sides, and nobody controlled it. It was filled with craters from explosions, barbed wire, bodies. If you were ordered to go over the top, which meant climbing out of your trench and charging towards the enemy, there was a very good chance you weren't coming back. Thousands of men died just trying to move a few hundred feet. Sometimes they'd fight for weeks and gain almost nothing. And I'm curious, if you were born in that time, do you think you would have signed up to fight? Let me know in the comments. I'm genuinely curious what you think. Okay, so, remember at the beginning, I told you about something that still gives me chills? Here it is, Christmas Eve. The soldiers are in their trenches, British on one side, Germans on the other. They've been killing each other for months, and then something strange happens. The German soldiers start singing Christmas carols, Silent Night. And the British soldiers, they hear it. And slowly, they start singing back. Then, one by one, soldiers from both sides start climbing out of their trenches, no weapons, just walking towards each other. They met in no man's land. They shook hands, they shared cigarettes, they showed each other pictures of their families. Some of them even played football together, right there, in the middle of a war zone. For one night, they weren't enemies. They were just people, young guys, far from home, missing their families. And the next day, they went back to killing each other, because that's what they were told to do. That moment, it shows you something. These soldiers, they didn't hate each other, not really. They were just caught up in something bigger than themselves. And this went on for 4 years. 4 years. Millions of young men from Britain, France, Germany, Russia, from countries all over the world, they lived in these conditions. They fought. They died. And honestly, most of them had no idea why they were really there. They were just told to fight. So they did. In part 2, we're going to talk about the biggest battles, the moment America joined the war, and how this whole thing finally ended. But I'll tell you right now, the ending? It's not a happy one. Not really. If you want to see part 2, make sure you're subscribed. I don't want you to miss it. And hey, if this video taught you something or made you feel something, leave a comment. Tell me what part hit you the hardest. I read every single one. I'll see you in part 2.